welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at something lots of families deal with or, think about. How do you actually connect with grandkids when there's, well, a lot of distance involved?
Yeah, miles and miles sometimes. Right.
Exactly. Maybe your kids and their children live clear across the country. Or maybe it's your own parents who are far from your kids.
It's a common setup these days.
So the real question we're digging into is, how can you build those genuinely meaningful connections, create real memories, even with that distance?
Right. And it's more than just, logistics. It really hits on that basic human need for connection, for family ties across the generations.
Hmm.
So for this deep dive, we looked at, well, quite a bit, how grandparenting itself has changed.
Yeah.
Some really practical tips that families are using, and even some surprising research findings.
Okay.
Our goal really is to give you some solid info and hopefully some, real inspiration to help strengthen those bonds no matter the distance.
Okay, sounds good. So let's start with how that role of grandparents has shifted. It's definitely not just the old stereotype anymore, is it? Like just baking cookies.
Not at all. Grandparents today, they're often really active people. They've got their own lives going on.
Right.
And crucially, I think many are much more comfortable with technology, way more than past generations, maybe.
That seems like a huge factor, technology.
Oh, absolutely. It's completely changed the game for long-distance grandparenting. I mean, think back just a few decades.
Yeah.
Staying in touch meant, what? Expensive phone calls? Letters that took days.
Right, very different.
Now we have all these digital tools. They're just part of everyday life for so many people.
And it's more than just a quick hello call now, isn't it?
Right.
Our research really showed how things like Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, they're used for way more interactive stuff.
Exactly. It's not just hearing a voice. It's about sharing moments, doing things together.
Like what kind of things?
Well, these tools have become channels for, you could call them virtual play dates. Grandparents reading bedtime stories live, singing songs together. We even saw examples of virtual cooking lessons.
Really? Like baking together?
Yeah. The grandparent guiding the grandchild through an old family recipe right there on screen. It makes a simple call into a real shared activity, a shared experience.
That's a big shift from just talking to actually doing something together.
Precisely. It allows for that much more active, engaged role, even from far away.
Now, speaking of the importance of this connection, we also looked into the work of Dr. Arthur Kornhaber. He had some interesting things to say.
Yes, Dr. Kornhaber's work is really insightful. What stands out is how much he stresses the fundamental importance of that grandparent-grandchild bond itself.
Okay.
His research points to this huge emotional, even educational impact grandparents have, and it goes both ways. He basically argues it's almost like a core human need, this connection.
Yeah.
And the benefits are there whether you live down the street or, across an ocean.
So the distance doesn't erase the value. That's really quite hopeful, isn't it?
It really is.
And talking about impact, we found some pretty cool facts, too. That Boston College study, for instance, that was striking.
Oh, yeah, that was fascinating. The study found that having emotionally close ties between grandparents and grandkids, it can actually lower symptoms of depression.
For both?
For both groups, yeah. It really shows how these relationships benefit everyone involved. It's not just good for the kids, it's really important for the grandparents' well-being, too.
That's wonderful. A real two-way street.
Exactly.
Then, kind of switching gears a little, we stumbled upon this quite charming trend, the grandparent pen pal thing.
Ah, yes. That was a lovely find. It's kind of counterintuitive, maybe.
How so?
Well, in our super digital age, right, there's this comeback of grandparents and grandkids connecting through actual physical letters, postcards.
Old school.
Totally old school. But there's this unique nostalgic feel to it, something tangible, that digital stuff sometimes misses.
I get that. Something you can hold.
Right. Getting a real letter in the mail, maybe with a little drawing on it, it becomes this special keepsake, a physical piece of that connection.
It's like a deliberate choice, maybe, to slow down and use something more traditional. Shows those methods still matter.
They definitely can.
Okay, so for people listening who are maybe in the situation trying to bridge that distance, what are some really practical, actionable tips we found? Things to actually do.
Yeah, we gathered quite a few. The first one, and maybe the most important, is just consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah, setting up a regular time for those virtual meetups. Maybe it's every Sunday afternoon, maybe it's the first Tuesday of the month, whatever works.
That becomes expected.
Exactly. It builds anticipation. It shows that this connection is a real priority for everyone.
That makes a lot of sense. Like nurturing any relationship, really, needs regular attention. What else?
Another good one is using shared digital spaces.
Like what?
Well, think about something like Google Photos. You can create albums that everyone can add to. Grandparents, grandkids, parents.
Oh, I see. Like a shared family album online.
Precisely. You upload pictures, add little notes or stories. It becomes this kind of living, evolving family history that everyone builds together.
I like that. It's not just storing photos. It's like building a story together over time.
Mm-hmm.
What about activities? Things they can actually do together while they're on a call.
Yeah, finding ways to do activities at the same time virtually can really build that feeling of togetherness.
Even if they're miles apart.
Right. It could be simple, like maybe they both decide to bake the same cookies. The grandparent can guide them through it on video.
Like the virtual cooking class idea?
Yeah. Or playing online games together. Chess, checkers. Lots of
Huh.
simple games work online now. The main thing is doing it together, that shared experience.
That feeling of being in sync, doing the same thing, I can see how that would really help bridge the physical gap.
Definitely.
And storytelling came up too, didn't it?
Yeah.
As being really key.
Oh, absolutely. Story time over video call is just fantastic for bonding.
How so?
Well, grandparents can share old family stories, pass down family history, values,
Right. The important stuff.
or just read a favorite book aloud.
Yeah.
Hearing that familiar voice, the rhythm of the story, it can be incredibly comforting and connecting for a child.
Yeah. Creates those shared reference points, that family identity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And one more practical tip. Something about tangible things.
Right. Don't underestimate the power of sending little surprise care packages.
Like actual mail.
Yeah, small gifts, handwritten notes, maybe a drawing the grandparent did, just something physical that arrives unexpectedly.
A little reminder that they're thinking of them.
Exactly. It's a concrete way to show love and connection when you can't be there in person. A tangible reminder.
Those little surprises can mean a lot. Okay, so those are some solid practical tips. But our research also touched on some maybe more innovative ideas, thinking outside the box a bit.
Yeah, a couple interesting ones came up. One, which depends a bit on having the tech, is virtual reality, VR adventures.
Wow, okay, tell me more.
Imagine a grandparent and grandchild putting on VR headsets and like exploring a museum together or walking through a national park. Virtually, of course.
So they feel like they're actually there together.
Yeah, potentially. It offers this really immersive sense of shared discovery, shared presence. It goes way beyond a standard video call, potentially.
That sounds pretty amazing. Maybe not for everyone yet, but exciting. What else was there?
Another creative idea was collaborative digital scrapbooking.
Okay, like the photo album idea, but more scrapbooky.
Kind of, using online tools where they can both work on pages together, adding photos, writing captions, maybe little digital stickers or drawings, documenting their virtual hangouts or real-life visits, too.
So it's like building a modern family scrapbook together, but they can do it from anywhere.
Exactly. A shared creative project that captures their connection across the distance.
That's neat, taking something traditional and giving it a digital collaborative twist.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the big picture, the main takeaway from everything we've looked at?
I think the core message is, well, pretty positive, actually. Physical distance. Yeah, it's a challenge, no doubt.
Sure.
But building that real emotional closeness between grandparents and grandkids,
Yeah.
it's not just possible, it's really, really achievable and vital.
So it can be done.
Absolutely. If families are intentional about it, if they embrace the technology that's available, get creative with how they interact, they really can bridge that gap. They can build relationships that are just as strong, just as meaningful as if they live next door.
That's a really powerful message. It's about being proactive, right?
Right.
Finding those ways to connect.
Exactly. It takes effort, but the rewards are huge.
So for everyone listening, maybe take a second to think about your own family, your own situation. Which of these ideas, these tips kind of sparked something for you? What could you maybe try?
Yeah, and it maybe chew on this thought too. In this world where everything seems to be going digital, how could mixing some of that high-tech stuff, like video calls, with some really old school things like writing actual letters, how might that unique blend really strengthen those family ties for you?
Finding that right mix.
Finding the combination that creates the deepest connection for your specific family. That's the goal, really.